Donald Trump was right yet again. Today is Saturday, July 2nd, and last Saturday and early into Sunday morning at about 3:30 in the morning, there was an incident outside of a South Carolina club called Playoffz. Now, before I get too deep into my commentary, I just want to play you some of the news clips that are related to it so you get a little bit of a better context as to what's going on. You can kind of see where I'm going with the video. So go ahead and roll it.
If we had people where the bullets were going in the opposite direction, right smack between the eyes of this maniac, if some of those wonderful people had guns strapped right here, right to their waist or right to their ankle, and this son of a bitch comes out and starts shooting, and one of the people in that room happened to have it and goes boom, boom. You know what? That would have been a beautiful, beautiful sight, folks. That would have been a beautiful, beautiful sight.
Jody Thompson is accused of shooting into a crowd outside a nightclub in Spartanburg County. 3 people were shot before a man with a CWP permit shot Thompson, forcing him to run away. Only on Fox, many of the victims say that man's quick actions likely saved a lot of lives early Sunday morning. It's a story that's been trending, and you've been talking about it all day on social media.
So tonight we talked to a CWP instructor about the law surrounding the situation, plus one victim recounts the moments she heard gunfire erupt and realized she was shot. Sunday morning, shots rang out in the parking lot of this club in Lyman. Eerily 2 weeks to the day after the deadliest mass shooting in modern history took place inside this Orlando club. While hundreds of miles away and different scenarios, there is one common theme. No one saw it coming.
Just an innocent victim. Like I said, I'm sitting in my car, and I never would have thought in a million years, like, me being shot.
Renata Irby was just one of 3 innocent victims. Irby says she had just gotten inside her car outside club Playoffz.
I just hear gunshots. Gunshots just pow, 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 at least 10, 15 of them. And I noticed a burning sensation in my leg. I looked down and I was bleeding. So automatically I started panicking.
Seconds later,
next thing I know, a couple more rounds going off again. I didn't even take cover. I just sat there and I thought it was it. I thought my life was over, like literally. I just thought that was the last day of me seeing my children.
The Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office says Jody Thompson was the shooter. Witnesses say he was shooting anyone nearby. But one man in the crowd was armed, not only with a gun, but his CWP as well. He returned fire, hitting Thompson in the leg. Witnesses say that's when Thompson quit shooting and ran.
If it wasn't for him, I think it would have been more people injured than what it was, to be honest with you. I don't think he was going to stop.
While the CWP holder didn't want to be identified, Irby says he likely saved lives. I stopped by Top Gun Shooting today in Bowling Springs to talk with CWP instructor David Blanton.
It's just a real good showing that people that are prepared are able to protect themselves and protect other people.
He also pointed out it's a different time in our society, and soon some responsibility may start falling on the clubs themselves.
If you're going to provide a place for people to gather, and with the atmosphere of things that are going on in the country, if that club doesn't provide for security for these people, there's going to be a smart attorney somewhere going to look at that one day and say, hey, this is something that we can tag onto the club owners.
Okay, so you saw that. You see what's going on. Now let's get straight into it. This club Playoffz, obviously it's a black club. I know because I've dealt with black clubs for many, many years as a graphic designer, as a consultant, as a lot of different things. I know guys that own clubs, so I know what black clubs look like. This was a black club. Now, the let out is at the end of the night when people get ready to go home. A lot of times that's when the murdering happens. People get into fights. Like, let's say, for example, a guy pulls up to the club. He knows there's a guy there that messes with his baby mama or something like that. they get into an altercation. He has a gun and he ends up killing him or killing somebody else that's an innocent bystander, shooting innocent people. That's kind of how that happens all across the country. I've seen it happen. I've known people that have been involved in situations like that, so I know what it is. Now, to get back on topic, this incident, same thing, a let out, somebody get into a fight, a gun is produced. Now, this guy that was shooting indiscriminately, and he hit 3 innocent people. I'm not even sure if he hit his intended target. I don't think anybody passed away in this situation, fortunately. I think a woman got shot as she was getting in her car to leave, right? So this guy was just shooting. This was just anger being spilled out at the let out, as it always does. Luckily for the people that were there, and also probably the guy that was shooting, a concealed carry permit holder shot him in the leg and then ended the whole situation. So nobody else got shot and nobody else got hurt, right? Here we are. You have an example of a good guy with a gun, somebody at a club that stopped a lot of people from getting shot. This is what Donald Trump said in relation to the Orlando situation where you had all those individuals who got shot. Now, I don't want to get into the conspiracy theories about how nobody got shot until the SWAT team came in there. That's a whole different story for a different video. I just want to do with what we think happened. A lot of folks got shot in the club by this guy. I won't say his name anymore, but you know who he is. And what if somebody in the club was armed and was able to protect themselves the same way this person in South Carolina was able to protect possibly himself or herself and the other individuals who were just outside of the club during a let out that were innocent bystanders that may have been hit by his indiscriminate bullets, right? People jeered Trump. They said, oh, you can't arm people in the club. You can't have concealed carry in the club. Well, look, yes, you can. You know, of course, I think security should be in the club armed. And I think regular patrons should be able to be armed as well. I think in South Carolina, you're able to have a gun inside the club, but the club can restrict that if they want to. So basically, it's not illegal to have a gun in the club if you have a concealed carry permit, etc. But the club can say, well, we don't want that in our establishment. That's perfectly fine for the club to have that rule because it's their own property. It's their own private establishment. They can do whatever they want. They can say, you need to come in here with deer antlers on. You need to come in here with a red nose, a clown nose, whatever it is, whatever they say. And if you want to come in there and do that, then that's on you. You voluntarily come in there to do whatever they want as far as your dress and as far as having a gun or not, that's fine. But it's not against the law to have a gun inside the club. So yes, you can have a gun in the club. Yes, you can have a concealed carry. People are saying, oh, well, you can't have guns around people that are drunk. It's like, come on, look, the presence of people that have guns would make somebody think twice about pulling their gun to shoot someone indiscriminately, right? And then in the case of somebody out there being indiscriminate, you have other people that will be able to react quickly and nullify the situation. That's how that works. This is why you really don't see mass shootings in non-gun-free zones. You see them in gun-free zones because the individual knows that the people are soft targets. He knows that they can't fight back. He knows that they do not have the ability to defend themselves at all. All they're going to do is run, hide, and cower and pray that they don't get shot and killed, right? In a situation at this club in South Carolina, I think is in Spartanburg County. And this situation could have ended a lot worse because this person was angry during the whole club let out, which happens all too often. People get shot and killed. You know, the thing about the black club situation, I want to talk about that a little bit. Nobody really cares about the black club situation because when you have violence in a black area, a black establishment, it's seen as normal because it happens all the time. It's commonplace, unfortunately. So when you have incidents like this that happen, the media wants to kind of sweep it under the rug for a couple of reasons. The first and most obvious reason is because they don't want to have any kind of story about a good guy with a gun. You don't want a story about a concealed carry permit holder actually utilizing that weapon to prevent something bad from happening to somebody else because that destroys the whole narrative. The narrative is the people that have guns are dangerous, they're violent, they don't understand how to control themselves, and we, the government, must make it so that they are not able to get the guns. We must restrict the guns, like in California, where you can't really open carry or conceal carry. I mean, you can, but you got to jump through so many hoops. Like Barnum and Bailey Circus, it makes it impossible for you to really do it except for a select few people, maybe celebrities, Maybe if you just happen to successfully jump through the hoops, then maybe you'll be able to do it. I read an article somewhere that says within the past 5 years in San Francisco, only 3 people were able to successfully get a concealed carry permit. So when you have folks that say, oh, well, you can conceal carry, you can open carry, you can do whatever you want. But when you only have 3 people that are successfully able to get their concealed carry permit over the past 5 years, I mean, come on, you're being disingenuous. You're kind of, you're being very obtuse with your observation. Now, back to the whole thing about black clubs. Black clubs always get shot up. Black clubs always have violence. That's a normal thing, and that's why nobody really cares, right? Like I said, the first thing is about the concealed carry in this situation. And the second thing is the media does not want to continuously highlight black violence situations. You know, I've seen stories where people got killed on the dance floor. Imagine if somebody got killed in a gay club that was not necessarily black, white, or whatever. It just happened to be a gay club and somebody got murdered on the dance floor. You would have Barack Obama, Eric Holder, everybody else go to the actual location and see what's going on, have, you know, candlelight vigils and everything else, singing. But at a black club, that's normal. That happens all the time. I've seen the news where people get killed at the club, outside the club, in the parking lot, on a dance floor. That happens, right? So it's a double whammy. The media wants to squelch any kind of story of black violence, and they also want to squelch any kind of story of somebody with a gun doing something good rather than doing something bad. Because you got 2 different agendas. One is to suppress any kind of black criminality to make it seem like your network is not racist. And then also you want to be able to be beholden to the liberal mantra by not having anything about positive gun stories run on your airwaves. So that's all I got. You know, hopefully this gets some more media coverage. Hopefully I'm media enough to get it out there, and anyone else that wants to promote the story, because this is a good story about a concealed carry permit holder doing something that's good with the actual gun, which happens all the time, but it does not get publicized. It only seems to get publicized when some nut job wants to go and kill a bunch of people that happen to obtain their guns legally, or if they had a gun at all, legal or not. So, I mean, so what say you? Do you think it's a good idea for people to have guns inside the club? I mean, if so, why? Do you think it would be a good safety measure to prevent anybody from coming in there and doing something that they shouldn't be doing? Like a situation where somebody comes in there, they've been drunk, they're high, they're on drugs, whatever it is, and they didn't want to come in there and start violence. They want to come in there and threaten people, you know, kidnap people, drug people, or whatever. Maybe that gun would make them think twice. Whatever your comments are, whatever your thoughts about guns inside the club are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.